Today we're going to talk about three killers. What exactly am I talking about? Let's go back and do a case study of my first 10-unit apartment complex. Hello and welcome to the Total Wealth Academy podcast. I'm your host, Steve Davis, and today we're going to talk about three killers. Three things that people are suffering from that is holding them back and keeping them from having the life that they truly want and deserve. It's a thing called lag, or laziness, arrogance, and greed. I'm an expert on this because I had it in spades. I was lazy, arrogant, greedy when I first got into this business, and it cost me a lot of money. It also cost me a massive amount of time, wasted energy, and things like that. What exactly am I talking about? Let's go back and do a case study of my first 10-unit apartment complex. When I bought it, I had about 100 single-family houses, and I was running those very, very effectively. Only took me about 20 hours a month, and I was making 30, 40 grand a month. So in my mind, I was this great real estate investor. And what I did is I decided I'm going to move over to apartments. And so I found this 10-unit apartment. I know this sounds crazy when I say it, but it was only $12,000 a door. Now, this is back in the early 90s, and I picked it up for $12,000 a door. It needed about $7,000 worth of work. By the time I paid holding costs and closing costs, I was in it for about $20,000 a unit, or about $200,000 total. In my mind, as I said, because I was able to run single family very effectively, this sounded like a no-brainer. I mean, doesn't it to you, $20,000 for an entire apartment? It's a cheap deal. Sounds like a great deal. Huge mistake. Huge mistake. My mentor, and many of you know who he is, backed out of the deal at the closing table. He was scared of personal liability. So he backed out of the deal at the closing table. Why is that important? Because this is the guy that had agreed to teach me how to run an apartment. Well, arrogantly, and there it is, laziness, arrogance, and greed. We're talking about arrogance right now. I said again to myself, man, I can run all these single family houses. I won't have any problem with a 10-unit apartment. Wrong. I didn't realize that apartments are totally different from single family. And I got my lunch eaten. I got destroyed the first year. I actually lost $10,000 the first year. I had a negative net operating income of $10,000 by the time the year was over. And I was also working at the property on a regular basis. So it was consuming massive amounts of my time, and I was losing money. Again, arrogance. I thought I could do it. I was also lazy. There was this course that I could have taken. It was $30,000 on how to run apartment complexes, all the way up to 500 unit, 1,000 units, didn't matter. It was an apartment complex course. I was too lazy to take it. My arrogance again told me I can do this. I don't need this class. Then greed got in there. Hey, that's $30,000. I don't want to spend $30,000. I don't want to take a week off and go to this boot camp. Laziness, arrogance, and greed. So what I did was I manhandled that deal, and I worked there on a daily basis trying to figure it out. After about 2 years, I figured out how to run the property. We made $41,000 at the end of the second year. So I went from losing 10,000 to making 41,000. But I still didn't get it. I now knew how to run an apartment, but I did not understand how to value the apartment. See, with single family, you go off of a thing called comparable sales. If you buy a house in a neighborhood where all the other houses on average sell for $350,000, then your house is worth $350,000 because you have comparable sales to prove it. Commercial property is completely different. So one day I'm on my property and I see this guy walk on in a suit, and I knew that none of my tenants wore suits, so I knew he wasn't supposed to be there. So I went and approached him, asked him what he was doing there, and he said, "Look, I own a bunch of apartments in this neighborhood. I'm paying about $35,000 a door." Now remember, I had paid $20,000 a door for this deal. He said, "I'm paying about $35,000 a door. Would you be interested in selling?" Well, my brain clicked and goes, "Oh, there's the comparable sale. All the other properties are selling for $35,000 a door. Then mine must be worth $35,000 a door." And I agreed to sell it. So I sold it to him for $350,000. I made $150,000, but I still didn't get it. See, apartments are not valued based off of comparable sales. The value of an apartment complex is based off of its income. In this case, the NOI, net operating income, on this deal was $41,000. You then divide that by a thing called the capitalization rate to determine the value of the property. So I sold it to him for $350,000. That deal was worth $680,000, but I didn't understand it. I was lazy, I was arrogant, I was greedy. I didn't take the course. So I lost 300 plus $1,000 of profit because I didn't take that $30,000 course. Laziness, arrogance, and greed. Well, immediately after selling the property, I said, I want to buy a big apartment complex, 80, 100, 200 units, something like that. So I decided to take the course, and I did. And when I did, I found out that I lost over $300,000 selling that property. Here's what you've got to understand. If I hadn't been lazy, arrogant, and greedy, if I had taken that $30,000 course before I bought the property, do you realize I would have made $450,000, not just $150,000? $450,000. That's almost $500,000. But because I was lazy, arrogant, and greedy, I didn't get that money. Now, how did this relate to you? The way it relates to you is how many of you are just a tad, this is hard to say. Please take this with a grain of salt. But how many of you are lazy? You won't go out and learn how to manage your own money. You turn it over to American Express or your bank or Edward Jones, and you just lazily sit there and hope for the best. That's lazy. And that's why 95% of Americans fail to retire by age 65, because they're lazy. They don't learn how to manage their own money. They don't learn how to invest. And they're greedy. They won't invest in themselves. Now, these are the same people that paid 60, 80, $100,000 to a college or university just to get a job. Just to get a job. Listen, people, jobs are free. Jobs are free. At least that's what I thought, and it's turned out to be true. But you spent that money on these universities, and all they did was teach you how to get a job. They didn't teach you how to invest your money. They didn't teach you how to build wealth. They just taught you how to get a job. And people are too lazy to take the courses. They're too arrogant to think they need it. The arrogance comes down to, oh, I know all this. I know how to make money. It's all about the stock market. It's all about gold, silver, and crypto. That's how you make money. No, it's not. It's not. Those are middle class investments. It's what the average person does. Now, here's the question. Do you want to be average or do you want to be above average? I'll suggest that if you're watching this podcast, you probably want to be above average. Then you've got to do above average things, such as getting yourself educated. Here's a quick test. What is ARR? What is IRR? What is COC? What is COI? What is a cap rate? What is NOI? If you didn't know the answer to every one of those questions, then your financial education is lacking. You don't know what you're doing. If you don't know those basic things, you're never going to succeed or excel financially. You've got to educate yourself. And you can't be lazy about it. You can't be arrogant and you can't be greedy. You've got to get out there, spend some money. Oh, and this one's one of my favorites. People keep thinking, oh, the internet is free now. I can learn all this off the internet. No, you can't. And the reason is you don't know what you don't know. In other words, you don't even know the correct questions to ask AI or chat or whatever. You don't even know the right questions. You'll never learn it off of the web. You better get with somebody like Total Wealth Academy that has the right questions, has the right answers, and can educate you so that you become a competent investor. And stop giving your money to Edward Jones. Stop giving your money, losing control of your money. You have lost control of your money. If your money's in an IRA or 401k, the vast majority of you have lost control of your money. You're just letting somebody else run your money and you're crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. Listen, hope is not a business model. Crossing your fingers is not a business model. You've got to educate yourself and get out there, get control of your money, and invest it yourself if you're going to get wealthy. And it's probably going to have to be in real estate because 9 out of 10 millionaires in the United States used real estate to build their wealth. 9 out of 10. So you need to educate yourself, at least expose yourself to real estate investing so that you know what it is, you know the results you can get from it, and you can make a wise decision to add it to your portfolio or not. You may take the course and go, nah, that's not for me. But chances are you're going to take the course and go, ooh, I can outperform the stock market by 100%. I think I'll put a little real estate in my portfolio. So, laziness, arrogance, and greed. Those three things combine to kill the average American. Don't let that happen to you. Start questioning yourself on a daily basis. Am I being lazy? And you're going to find that the answer is yes. You're not managing your money. You're hoping for the best. You've turned it over to somebody else. You've lost control of your money. Somebody else is responsible. Listen, you're responsible. If you turn it over to Edward Jones, you're still responsible. You can't wait till you're 65, go to retire, and Edward Jones goes, oh, your portfolio is not big enough to retire. You can't blame them. They did what the stock market does, which is about 10% a year. Now, I know some of you are really excited right now because the last few years you've done 20 or 30% rate of return, but you forget about the years that you lost 20 or 30%. Remember, human memory is very short. very short. What people do is they'll lose for 10 years, then they'll make money for 10 years, but all they remember is the 10 years they made money. They keep forgetting that those other 10 years are coming, the 10 years that you lose money. The average for the stock market is 10%. The average deal at Total Wealth Academy is 20+%, double what the stock market produces. And yes, we've got our famous deals where we did 90%, 100% rate of return, over 100% rate of return, sure. But we are doing at least double what the stock market does. But it requires education, it requires effort, it requires work. You can't be lazy, you can't be arrogant, and you can't be greedy because it will kill you. And greed is the most dangerous of all of them. It will destroy you. If you remain greedy, it will destroy you in your real estate deals, whether it's single family houses or big apartment complexes, self-storage complexes. You've got to control greed. But that particular subject will be in a different podcast where we discuss how to not be greedy when doing your real estate deals. So there it is, laziness, arrogance, and greed. You saw how it killed me. Don't let it kill you. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.